The remontada we had against Liverpool, outstanding performance from the boys. I think if I'm Arsenal, I'll be worried because this is showing a different Man City. This is exactly Man City we've been witnessing. The start of the season starts now. And I think we're winning the league, man. I feel so happy. I can't believe it. Can't believe it. We're coming for that league, and Robbie knows it. Chris will see it. Today, I think this season might be a historic season for us. I think the way we win the league, I'm so happy, man.
It's a turnaround. This is a statement win, isn't it, really? Yeah. No, who scored his 28th goal for City this season.
See? BBC love me, man. They love me. They call me. Mwah! They know I'm making it, man. I'm going to win the league. Mwah! Guys, mwah! See you at the terrace, guys. Hey! Let me do a little dance. I'll see you at La. Hey! A little dance, bro. You see this? I should play like this. We when Santos used to win the league. Hey!
He's busy having his live chat with Rudiger right now.
No, he wants to be whatever. What's that YouTube? What's that YouTube that he's on? What's that YouTube shit that he's on? What's that YouTube show he's on? Whatever is that guy?
Bro, his own channel, innit?
No, he's another one. Whatever is that guy?
Yeah, whatever it is, man.
There's a guy who does YouTube with him, whatever it is. Yes, Sidemen. We're like, tear his contract. Let him go and play for Sidemen now. Go and play for Sidemen. Whatever. Tear his contract down, scumbag. Little shit. Shame on you. They lied to you guys. 14 Champions League, we crash it. Crash it like this. Football heritage is this. This is what football heritage. Get out of here. You lie to me every day telling me football heritage. Champions League heritage. Get out of here. Another Champions League heritage.
Have you ever seen the film? Have you ever seen the film about the Air Jordans with
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Was that Cal?
Cal, you're right, bro.
No, you're good.
Cal just collapsed. Did the chair just give up on Cal?
What the hell?
Cal, you all right, mate?
Hi.
Big up, Cal. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another stream, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to talk about Liverpool Football Club, Habibis. You know, I don't usually go live on Wednesday, like afternoons or mornings or whatever it's at. So we're here. We're here to talk about Liverpool Football Club. Plenty of news coming your way. Make sure you guys check out OK Jersey. That's where I got this windbreaker from. Go get it. Use code MHF for 8% off. You know, so yeah, big up to all of you guys. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. It's like cold over here. It's so cold, man. I'm done with this cold. I actually can't wait for the sun to come out. It's just boring. It's just boring. It's more boring than some people online. Big up to all of you. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And keep getting involved in the chat. Keep letting me know your opinions. Listen, man, the Salah thing has been very interesting over the last 24 hours with this whole slot news. So we're here to discuss it. We're here to talk about it. And you know what's funny? Let me tell you what's funny, yeah? I think with like this whole Mo situation, there is certain things that are very obvious to see for us now. First of all, let me start off with one quick thing. This is the Mo video, yeah? I want you guys to pay attention. You see, Mo's very intelligent. Mo's very intelligent with the way that he does stuff, yeah? Watch this. This is the Mo video, yeah? Look at what Mo is wearing. Look at what Mo is wearing and look at what's behind Mo. Yeah? I'm not going to play the video because I got copyrighted because of the music. But look at what's behind him and look at what he's wearing. Okay? This is what Mo posted literally 8 days before that. This is what Mo posted 8 days before that. Same exact outfit and look what's behind him. Look what's behind him. Same exact thing he was wearing on March 8th, and look what was behind him, an empty trophy cabinet. Bro, Mo has recorded this video like a long time ago. Mo has recorded this video about leaving Liverpool Football Club a long time ago, man. This is not like a new thing. He's recorded this for a while now. And, you know, he's kept it in the chamber, and he's obviously released it during the international break. I don't know what the reason is for the timing now. But one thing we can establish now, once and for all, is the fact that Mo was right. what he said after Leeds is actually the truth, which is they are basically scapegoating him and kicking him out the club. There are two scenarios when it comes to Arne, and I'm going to discuss both. I'm going to discuss the Arne staying scenario. I'm going to discuss the Arne leaving scenario. So I'm going to discuss both. But if we go based off what he said post Leeds, which is, you know, I'm being scapegoated by the club, I am being forced out, etc., etc., etc. If you go based off those sentences, then what he said is true, which is the fact that he is being scapegoated by the club and he's being forced out. And that's the reason why the contract situation is what it is, in terms of they have mutually agreed to basically shake hands and leave the football club. So he's not being sold from Liverpool. He's not being, you know, loaned out from Liverpool. None of that. He's mutually, you know, he's mutually terminated his contract with Liverpool Football Club. So that for me is a thing where you're gonna have to sit back and go like, why have they mutually terminated the contract? Then what he said is true in terms of, okay, he is being like forced out the club, or else at least you would sell him. That's the thing. You would probably sell him, you know, if you like want him gone in the summer. That's the thing. And that's why for me, I'm looking at this perspective and like what he said after the Leeds game is probably true. Now what we have found 6 months later, we could tell that basically it is right. The club has thrown him under the bus. That's why they have basically agreed, you know, to just mutually just leave at the end of the summer. And there's a reason why he recorded this video like 20 days ago, almost. It's March 25th. He released this March 24th. He recorded this March 8th, you know? So it's been in the chamber for a long time for Mo. He recorded this and then he decided to leave. So you're in a position where you're thinking to yourself, bro, he was right. He's basically being thrown under the bus. He's basically being, you know, scapegoated by the football club, and he's leaving. And to be honest, I'll be honest with you, this news, and I know, like, since I set up the stream, because I told Vel to make the stream based off slot staying. I've seen the stuff with build. I'm gonna address it, I promise you. Big up to Daniel, who says, please, Daniel, don't do this. Don't do this. Let me just share the news that made me set up a stream now, even though I'm fasting, by the way. Shawwal, you get me? The 6 days of Shawwal. I'm currently on my second day of fasting. The Independent has reported that there is no current plans to move on Arne's slot, with the hierarchy believing there are numerous mitigating factors for a disappointing campaign. Yeah, mate, you're the mitigating factor. You're the mitigating factor. You're the reason why we are in this position to begin with. You're the reason why Liverpool Football Club are in this position to begin with. You are the reason why Liverpool absolutely suck. You're the reason. Mitigating circumstances. You would think we had injuries like the Klopp season where we had like no fit center back. You would think we had injuries. You know, we don't even have as many injuries as Arsenal did last year. We don't even have that many injuries. We don't even have that many players out. What mitigating circumstances? Connor Bradley being out? Also, big up to you, Daniel. Also, let's just establish something real quick. If you're telling me that the injuries and mitigating circumstances is the reason why Liverpool can't win the league, we will all agree. Guess what? Even the rival fans, you know, Liverpool won the league last year, blah, 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 that's fine. But you can't tell me that mitigating circumstances is the reason why you're below Man United. You know, the one thing I hate the change of energy. One of the things that I dislike so much is people changing their energy all the time. That's the thing that irritates me the most. Imagine in August, Imagine in August, all of you guys, yeah? Imagine in August, I did a stream saying we're gonna finish below Man United. Legit, yeah. This is a question to all of you before we continue with all the news and all that. This is a question to all of you. First of all, get the likes up because we will have almost 600 people in here. We're not even at 100 likes yet. So please get the likes up and subscribe to the channel if you're ready to do so. This is a question to every single one of you. Imagine in August, I told you all, guys, we're gonna finish below Man United. What would you have said? You wouldn't have just said slot out. You'd have said slot out, club out, Hughes out, Edwards out, FSG out, liquidate, get relegated, get screwed, go F yourself. You'd have said all the bad words in the planet had I said in August, we are going to finish below Man United. We're also going to finish below Aston Villa. We are fighting Chelsea Football Club with Matisse Armani in charge for 5th place. Mitigating circumstances. You're the circumstance. You're the reason why we're in this position to begin with. I hate Arne Slot even more after yesterday's news. I legit, like, after Salah announced he's leaving, after Salah, okay, Tom, I'm going to send you the link. Just give me 5 minutes, please. I'm mid-screaming at the football club. After Salah announced yesterday that he's going to leave in the summer, I'm angrier at Arne Slot. Put one in the chat if you hate Slot more after yesterday's announcement. Legit. Because it can't be just me who feels this hatred towards Arne. It actually can't be me. Like, yes, Sensations, this is so true. If I told you all in August Man United would finish above us, you would all thought Man United are going to win the league, bro. You would all thought Man United are going to win the league. Imagine in August I went live and I said, hey guys, Man United are going to finish above us. You would all said Man United would be in 1st place. You'd all said Man United would be in 1st place. Yesterday's announcement makes me hate Arne Slot even more, honestly. Yesterday's announcement makes me dislike Arne Slot even more. There's no way I'm the only one that feels it. Spam ones in the chat if you also feel that feeling in your veins where you're just like, there is no way. I didn't think that I could hate on Slot more, but I hate him even more now. It can't be just me who thinks this. It cannot be just me who thinks this, bro. It actually cannot be just me who thinks this, bro. Bro, I can't stand the guy. I actually can't stand. No, I told them to put one in the chat, Jenny. I actually can't stand the guy, man. I can't stand him. I can't stand him, bro. Like, I'm seeing his face and I'm getting irritated now. Like, it's just, bro, I need him gone, bro. I need him gone from Liverpool Football Club ASAP. Like, yesterday's announcement made me think, like, yo, like, I actually despise this guy now. I'm at the stage where I just despise him, man. Like, it's just, yo, man, like, it's just, no, I'm not saying I hate him because Salah is leaving. I'm saying yesterday's video made me despise him even more. I'm going to address both. I promise you guys, I'm going to address both scenarios. One with Alonso coming, one without. But this, for me, triggered me. I'm so angry. I'm actually legitimately so irritated. I'm so irritated. I'm irritated beyond measure. Mitigating factors. You're the biggest mitigating factor. You're the factor. You are the factor why we're in this position. Mitigating factors. We all said Arsenal fans were making excuses when they blamed the injuries last year. And now the club wants to come out and say that mitigating circumstances is the reason why we're in this position. We were crap when Isak was there. We were crap when Bradley was there. Konate hasn't been injured all season. Ekitike hasn't been injured all season. None of our midfielders have been significantly out except Endo. What mitigating circumstances? We've had most of our players fit all season. What are you talking about? You know the thing that irritates me, yeah? Before I get to the other one, which is the build report regarding Xabi Alonso, yeah? Before I get to the other thing, the thing that irritates me is You know, there are people who literally didn't even give this excuse to Jurgen Klopp when he had no centre back. You know how mad that is? There are people who didn't even give Klopp that excuse. I think so as well, Jamrock, unfortunately. There are people who don't even give Klopp that excuse. What the thing that I'm just wondering a little bit about this Miguel Delaney report. I promise you I'm going to put up the Alonso stuff in a bit. The Saudi Pro League are targeting both Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes from Liverpool this summer in what could deepen a summer of what could deepen a summer of upheaval at Anfield. Here's the thing, yeah? This is why I agree with Jamrock. My job is to report the news. So I'm going to report everything, yeah? But this is why I agree with Jamrock's comment. Jamrock says, where is it? I can't even find it. Jamrock put up a comment. He still thinks, no, I thought you said he stays. Sorry. I haven't had my coffee. I'm fasting today. My bad. I'm fasting. Sorry. This is the reason why, like, I'm a little bit confused with what Miguel Delaney is saying. I'm a little bit confused. If Richard Hughes and Edwards are leaving in the summer, surely that means that Slot leaves as well. I'm confused because I feel like Miguel Delaney is sending like almost like mixed messages. Is Arne Slot gonna stay, or is Arne Slot gonna get sacked? Which one is it? Because if you're telling me that Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards are gonna go, I'll be honest, it seems like he should go as well. So why is the Independent and Delaney reporting that Slot is staying? And the other thing is, if you guys notice, I'm going to do the supers now and bring Tom on as well. If you guys notice, yeah, watch this. Let me show you the Axel Hesse or whatever, however you pronounce his name to it, yeah? Watch this. Arne Slot is likely to be sacked after Liverpool's poor run, with a decision to be expected by the summer. Xabi Alonso is the top target to replace him, but does not want to join mid-season. Liverpool have been tracking Alonso since 2024 and kept in regular contact. Alonso is open to joining if he is given strong control over transfers and squad planning. His experience at Madrid made Alonso cautious about timing and control, which is why he does not want to take over this season. Liverpool see his return as a major opportunity to improve the squad performance. So we're getting two different messages. The message from Germany is Xabi Alonso is joining Liverpool, and the message from England is Arne Slot is staying. Now, here's where we come full circle. German newspaper outlets have no loyalties towards Liverpool Football Club at all. German outlets have no reason to lie about Liverpool Football Club, meaning that German newspapers have no affiliation to Liverpool Football Club. I'll give you an example. Put one in the chat if you remember during the Salah saga, when in the beginning you got articles saying that Salah has no friends in the squad and he has no one that he interacts with and he's isolated and he's by himself. And then you remember 3 months later, when the same newspapers were putting out how important Mo's role is to the Liverpool team because of his leadership. So you told me at the start of the season that he has no friends, and 3 weeks later you told me he's very important when it comes to his leadership. Big up Zier. You told me 3 months later it's very important when it comes to his leadership. So why are you lying to me? One day you tell me he has no friends in the squad, and the other day he tells me he's very important and he brings all the team together. So which one is it? Is he friendless, or is he like a leader in the squad? Because you're telling me mixed messages, mate. You're gonna have to decide which one is it. Which message is the message I'm supposed to believe? So you're sitting in a position where you're almost more likely to believe the German source, because the German source has no affiliation to Liverpool Football Club, and the German source has no reason to lie. Let me just read these supers. Tom is in the background. Guys, we're at 800 likes and we're at 800 viewers and we're not even at 200 likes yet. Find some shame and some decorum and please hit the like button and subscribe. Big up to Salah who says slot out, screw FSG, bring Musa Ta'mari. If they bring Musa Ta'mari, that's a great replacement. You got me. According to some people, we just need a dribbler. He's a very good dribbler. You got me. Big up Musa. Nobody hates slot more than me. I'll fight anyone.
I prefer really not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble. In big trouble. And I don't want to be in big trouble.
Are we fighting over who hates the Liverpool manager more? We're finished. I'm gonna Falcon punch John Henry in his peanuts. What the hell is this, man? Falcon punch him in his peanuts? This is mad. This is mad. Yeah, but here's the problem, Jamrock. We're having two different shits being thrown at the wall. One shit saying the manager's leaving, and the other shit saying the manager's staying. Husam, I want whatever the board is smoking. WTF? Yeah, I'm with you, brother. At this point, get rid of FSG. Bro, at this point, if Slot stays, FSG out, Edwards out, Hughes out, everyone out. You know, Callum Sanderson out, Drifty out, Matt out, all out, bro. All out. Do you ever get happy if Liverpool lose because more views? Also, how big of a role do you think Isak will have next season? Here's the thing, AB. The problem is you believe people online and you believe the message that's propagated towards you. You know the money that I made the most, the month that I made the most money and the month that I gained the most subscribers was August. That's when Liverpool were making all the signings and we won all 3 games. I can literally show you from YouTube Studio right now and share with you. That month, I averaged up 1.5k viewers per stream. My average was 1.5k live viewers. I made a lot of money in August. And that was when Liverpool won all the games and we were making all the signings. So it's definitely being negative. I'll be honest with you. It doesn't make you more money. It doesn't get you more views. This is a false notion. I'll be honest with you. Also, in terms of the role Isak will have, he's going to be the guy that are going to have to, he's going to have to score the goals. He's going to be the guy that has to put the ball in the back of the net, which is we're going to speak about the winger replacement as well with Tom now. 2 last super chats for bringing Tom on. With a smile, I salute the king, and with tears, I say goodbye and forever thanks to Mo. Slot ruined us. Husam, your feelings were apparent yesterday. Yeah, it's very sad, bro. Like, our best player in Premier League era is about to leave, bro. Like it is sad. Like, people think, bro, I was sad when Stevie left. I'm going to be sad when Mo leaves. These are players in the upper echelon of Liverpool Football Club. I'm sure people like 30 years ago, 40 years ago were sad when Dalglish left. I'm sure people were sad when Hansen left. This is normal. You're talking about elite all-timers, bro. That's the truth. Guys, just remember the Build reported verse, just saying yes, they did, which is why now I'm going to get Tom's opinion on it now. Big up to all of you guys. I'm going to add Tom Little in the description. Go give him a subscription, please. Guys, we're not even at 200 likes yet. Please hit the like button and subscribe. Find some shame, all of you. Find some shame and some decorum. You get me? And hit the like button, please, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 300 likes ASAP. Anyway, Tom is in the building, people. Why it's not letting me add him? Big up, Tom. How you doing, Tom?
Hello, mate.
Hello. There's been a lot that's happened since we last spoke, eh?
There has been.
Yes.
I'll be honest. The Build stuff today has been the most exciting one.
Yeah.
Because the guy that reported it is the same guy that was doing the Vert stuff last year, and he was on the money every single time. And it's the same guy that apparently had a very close relationship with Alonso when he was the Leverkusen manager. I think he's their version of like Paul Joyce or whatever. So him coming in and saying these things with a degree of certainty, to the way he's saying it, the degree of certainty behind it, I almost think that there's a lot of truth behind that. If you get me?
Yeah.
And it's probably the only logical way to go about it. In reality, it's the only logical way to go about it in terms of Slot can't stick on. I think that it was going to come down this summer that we've got 3 separate parties that are trying to fight to stay in their role, and in reality, only one is going to stay. Whether it was going to be Salah, Slot, or Edwards and Hughes. If you were to ask me right now, obviously Salah's going. I'd say Edwards and Hughes are the ones that are staying on. At least one of them is. At least one of them is. That to me, because the way that it's said in that Axel Hesse article is Edwards is the guy pushing here. It's Edwards' guy. Edwards has been the one keeping contact. Edwards has been the one working away at it. Edwards has been the one working on this behind the scenes and keeping the contact up since 2024. That to me implies that Edwards has still got the control and still got the view for the long term, if you get me. And then you consider, because they say in that article why he wouldn't take the job mid-season because of what happened at Madrid and the way he didn't enjoy the way it was, the pressure that he put himself under, because he went there when he wasn't going to get some demands about a centre forward and a centre mid. If only there was a club out there that spent 200 million quid on 2 top centre forwards last summer and had 2 of his most important players from his Leverkusen team and had some good centre mids already and the money to go and buy more good centre mids. I think that it just makes an awful lot of sense now. And I wish Salah could have had a year under Alonso. And it might be something that everyone looks back on in a couple of years' time. Remember how Gerrard said he wished he'd stayed 1 more year to play under Klopp? Maybe we'll end up getting something like that with Salah later on down the line. But I also think that ultimately for Salah, this was probably the right way to go about it in terms of not only matching, what the club needs to do in terms of finance this summer, but I think it's important to match his ambitions. I still think Salah wants to stay in Europe, and I don't think the European club could have paid the transfer fee for him this summer because of his wage demands.
By the way, that's why I think they mutually terminated the contract.
Mm-hmm. I think they've been working on this for a couple months.
He probably gave up his wages or something like this, because I think the club, if he stayed, would have probably sold him to Saudi Arabia.
Well, they're the only ones that could pay a transfer fee for him.
Yeah.
So this gives him control over his next step. And
did you see his agent tweet it? He's like, "We don't know he's going to play first."
He was getting ahead of all the other ones who were going to start spewing all the bollocks. But I think with Salah, look, he's still got ambitions to play at the top level of Europe, and this is the way to facilitate that. And regardless of how it's ended this year, and the regret we have over it ending this year, this is the right way to go about it and the respectful way to go about it. And we can at least leave with a lot less of a tar brush on it. I could see Salah going, you could see Salah going to a number of top European clubs. I don't.
By the way,
I don't think he's as washed as people are saying. I think that
Italian league with ease, he will cook over there.
He could go Serie A. He could go Spain. Maybe a Barca, maybe a Lewandowski replacement at Barca, and he try and play him up front, or have him there to teach Yamal and stuff. There are clubs in Europe that would take him, especially now that they don't have to pay the 40-50 million to get him along on top of the wages. Salah can continue to get his wages, but it just comes through in that way. In the same way Kevin De Bruyne. It's like how Kevin De Bruyne left last year.
KDB was looking even more washed last year. He went to the Serie A and he looks like a normal midfielder over there. It's a much slower league, so at his age, I think it would suit him. But let me ask you, what do you think the significance of him mutually terminating his contract? Because, in terms of, in essence, it's not just controlling his future. In terms of the significance of it related to Arne Slot, how do you relate him mutually terminating his contract to Slot, or do you think it's unrelated?
I remember when we were talking about this in December, when the whole Leeds thing happened, and I said at the time, I think that there's a problem with the manager, but I don't think his problem is solely with the manager. I think that him mutually terminating has very little to do with Arne Slot. In reality, I think it's a factor, but I don't think it's the main factor. I think the matter of fact is the guys upstairs at the football club no longer want him at the football club because of his wages and because of where they want to take the club now. Remember what I've been saying to you? We're stuck in 2 eras at the minute. The old guard and the new guard. And it's not work meshing together. So the old guard have got to get cooled. That's what they're doing now. This is the way to get Salah out. Because if we tried to sell him if we try to sell him in the summer, as you said, it'd only really be Saudi clubs. If they don't want Salah, or sorry, Salah doesn't want them at this point in his career, if he wants to stay in Europe, then we're just at an impasse where we can't sell him, but we don't want to let him go for free. And the only clubs that could buy him, he doesn't want to go to. He wants to go there. So it would just be a mess in the summer, and it would have been more, uncertainty and more of a circus. At the minute, there's a circus already in the football club. There's so much
At the minute, Tom, with everything happening, it's beyond the circus. It's the funny part is everything me and you discussed in the summer about Edwards, Hughes, the way that we're run, has all just got to the shits like 6 months later. What's going on, bro? How is
it's how much you believe Miguel Delaney. It's how much you believe Miguel Delaney. So I don't know why. I think the only thing that he's right about is there's interest in Edwards and Hughes. Certainly in Hughes. Certainly in Hughes. I don't understand the role Edwards would get because Edwards is bigger than a director of football. So if it's just fucking Al Nasser or something asking him to be a director of football, I get it's a lot more money. But it's a downgrade in terms of his job. So I think that the only part he's right on there is Hughes, and the rest is a bit of educated guesswork. Obviously, we're not going to sack Slot now because seemingly the manager we want doesn't want to take the job now. So they're just going to let it ride out and then sack him for less.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
How do you think this plays out? Forget like you're reporting the news, which I did as well. But
how do I think
side
it plays out?
Leaning towards more?
How do I think it plays out? Arne Slot sacked 2 days after the end of the season, and Alonso comes in.
Okay, why?
Because Liverpool.
Then why did Mo announce he's leaving if Alonso's coming in the summer? What if Alonso wanted him part of his plans?
Because Mo doesn't want to play at the football club anymore because of who runs the football club.
Here's the problem
with the people who ran.
Hughes is gone and Slot is gone.
But I don't think Edwards and Hughes are going to go. I certainly don't think Edwards is going to go. Hughes might, but I don't think Edwards is going to go.
Oh, okay.
I think that one of them will stay.
So you're basically saying everything Miguel Delaney said, we're saying it's not true.
I think the party's right on is there's interest in them. Not that they'll go, but there's interest in them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I think happens is Edwards, I'll just say both of them stay for now. I'm a bit uncertain on Hughes, but I'll say both of them stay for now. Salah's issue was all when he was having his rant after Leeds, it was the club. Now, the club isn't Arne Slot. The club is Hughes and Edwards and whoever else in the hierarchy. So if they're staying, his issues with the club are still going to be there. It's not going to work. It won't work. And he deserves to go out with more respect than to spend his last 2 years at the football club battling away with ownership who don't want him here. They don't want him here because they don't think he's worth 400 grand a week now. And they would rather invest that into the new generation of squad. And he doesn't like them because the way they handled the situation, trying to get him out the door this season, was underhanded and deceitful. The relationship is broken.
Which actually proves he was right after Leeds now. This whole situation proves everything he said post-Leeds is true.
I never thought he was wrong. I thought he was wrong about going about it the way he did, but I never thought what he was saying was wrong. So the reality for me is that Edwards and Hughes are going to stay. That made it untenable for Salah. Regardless of if Slot stayed, I think if Slot was announced to be going earlier, maybe there's like a 5% chance. But I don't think that's really the case. I think that his issues that he and his agent have.
So the higher ups ruined the Mo thing more than even Slot.
Yeah, the higher ups saw how the season was going and went, we need his 400k a week freed up in other players. We want to go and challenge for the Elises of this world, the Barcolas of this world, etc., etc., etc. We're going to pay them his money because he's not doing it for us anymore, and we want to get the new guard in. That's how I think. That's why I think the relationship broke down, and I think Slot staying or going is pretty irrelevant to that changing. I think Slot was always a bit of a pawn in that sense, especially in the December where it was a case of he suddenly took him out the lineup, and it was for me. I always felt the moment that was a case of the board have got onto him and went, listen, if you want to save your job, you're going to start doing what we want here. And one of them things is you're not playing a Salah anymore. We're trying to get him out the door. And I think that there was a chance he could have went in the January if Isak hadn't broke his leg. I think if Alexander Isak was fit in January and Liverpool had the attacking depth to subsidise it, Salah wouldn't have went. But when Salah came back from AFCON, the only guy who had fit was Ekitike. And it was almost a case of, we need you. We need you to see this through. And then we'll...
Do you think Xabi Alonso becomes our manager?
I think he does, yeah. I think he does.
Okay, so now becomes this question. If Slot leaves in the summer and Xabi comes anyway, then this management is... Why wait?
Because Alonso said he won't take the job mid-season. He said because of the way it went with Madrid, because he took the Madrid job making sacrifices on what he wanted. He wanted to go in. He made demands before he went in of, I want a top centre forward and I want a top centre mid. And he didn't get either of them, but he still took the job. And he also didn't want to go in until after the Club World Cup. But they said, no, you're coming in before it. And he backed on that. And then he lost 4-0 to PSG. And the pressure just started at a high level then. And Alonso now, he left in January. It's all in the article, by the way. He left in January and he said from that point on, I'm not taking a job for the rest of the season. And when I am taking a job, it's going to be a case of it's on my terms and I'm getting more of what I want rather than, you know, bend
but here's
the
the thing, though. Don't you think like right now, it's March 25th.
Okay, hold on a second.
Right now, as things stand, where Xabi Alonso should be available right now, no?
He is, but he doesn't want the job right now. He doesn't want the job until the summer.
So why not give it an interim?
They could do. That's a separate argument.
I'm so sick of Slot, Tom. I'm just sick of
that is a separate argument. You could 100% get an interim in now. But Alonso has said he won't take the job until the summer. In the article that everyone's on about, that everyone's celebrating, it says this. I will read the entire thing. You can even, I'll send you the link so you can put it on screen as well, Husam. So
okay, go for it.
People can, you know, the people who are moaning at me in the chat.
Is this a tweet?
Yeah, it's a tweet from Anfield Sector from the article.
Okay, hold
Aggregating
on.
from the article.
I'm gonna share screen it now.
So it says, Xabi Alonso is ready for Liverpool. If Liverpool submit a concrete offer, he will accept, provided his conditions are met in advance. These centre on his influence over squad planning. A year ago at Real Madrid, he had agreed, despite his wishes, a proper centre forward and a central midfielder being dismissed before signing. That will not happen again. His decision to take over at Real ahead of the Club World Cup in the summer, against his own convictions, also proved to be a valuable lesson. After the 4-0 defeat to PSG, he was already under pressure before preparations even begun. That is why taking over Liverpool for the final stretch of the league and Champions League campaign is not an option for Alonso. He was dismissed by Real in mid-January. Since then, Liverpool have been intensifying their efforts to bring him in. Alonso's return to Anfield is seen as the best possible chance of getting the top-class squad firing again. So Alonso doesn't want the job until the summer.
Do we believe this, like, legit?
Yes, because
so all this, you see the spot I highlighted. Liverpool have been intensifying their efforts to bring him in. We're like desperate for Alonso even more than I thought.
100%. 100%. I know you were getting told about
I'll be honest, the people that I spoke to told me we're desperate for Enrique more than Alonso.
I think we were both getting told the same thing, but I don't think Enrique's leaving this summer and the football club can't wait. I think that's what it is.
The same thing about Enrique then.
I was told the same thing, but I think it was told that he doesn't want to wait. And we can't afford to wait because we can't do what we did in 15-16 with Rodgers, where we kept him on because we just needed someone to sit in the seat until someone become available. We've got a much more ambitious squad now with much more ambitious goals and a lot more money that we need to earn to, go against that. And it's also easier with Alonso because
Wirtz-Frimpong relationship.
Wirtz-Frimpong, but even Arne Slot has done a lot of damage this year to the atmosphere and to the fan base and everything around that. You get Alonso in, club legend, whatever he is, he's got the songs, he's got the history. The fans, they're back on side. They're right there backing this man 110% in the way that maybe they weren't doing that for Slot at points. So I think that it's just an easy, logical appointment on that entire basis. And I think that article suggests to me that if Alonso was willing to take the job, maybe Slot would have went by now. Maybe Slot would have went by now. But because he's
okay.
not, because he's
So
not,
you think
it's
if
just-
Alonso said no, literally Slot wouldn't even be here?
I think that he would have pulled the trigger by now based on that article.
Okay, I didn't look at it from that perspective. I didn't look at it from that perspective. You so you're saying if
And
if
again, the
Alonso
only
said
reason I'm
yes
the only reason I'm
tomorrow-
putting all this, the only reason I'm putting all this on this article is because of who it's from. It's from the top guy who's at Leverkusen. So not only does he have the connections with Alonso and his entourage, he's also got the connections with Wirtz and his entourage and Frimpong and his entourage. So even if he's not getting everything from Alonso, you think that it's a coincidence that there were stories coming out 2-3 days ago about Wirtz being in contact with Alonso's assistant about what Liverpool was like, what the squad's like. Do you think it's all just a wonderful, wacky coincidence? I don't think it is. I think that it started to get drip fed in and everyone kind of knows what's happening. And this being the international break is the chance for them to really iron out the details of it.
the thing is with it, so you're what you're saying is very dangerous. You're saying that if Alonso tomorrow says he's ready, we would get him 100%.
Maybe not this late into the season, but I think that there was points February time, January time. If he was willing to jump straight into a job after Real Madrid, maybe. I think there's a chance it would have happened then. I think the problem now is it's so late to the end of the season. Maybe they're a bit on and on about it. Maybe they wouldn't do it just because of the time. But again, they could do. It would only help. It can't get worse than it is. But the fact is, he won't take the job right now, according to that article. And that was the feeling I had when he left Madrid because of how toxic it got.
But let me ask you a question. Why are you so adamant that Hughes and Edwards are gonna stay and not go to Saudi? Based on what? Why?
Edwards,
Because I was almost more certain that they'll leave than Slot will.
Mm-hmm. For me, it's just a feeling. There's not really much I can put behind it in terms of, I've heard this or I've said this, yada, 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 yada. For me, I just think that the role Edwards has at the football club in FSG is a very strong one. And unless Saudi can offer him something similar to that, I don't see the appeal of making a downgrade in his career at this point. Hughes, again, it's a different kettle of fish with him. Maybe he'll get offered the same role, maybe he makes the move, but I always think it's a bit easy to replace a director of football rather than the head of football.
Okay.
So again, I've not.
So you're just going based off emotion, basically, not real, nothing like.
I've got no idea.
What you said goes against Fabrizio. It goes against the Saudi sources. You're just going based off like your emotion, like, oh, I think he might.
No,
stay.
because my focus is more on Edwards. Hughes is a bit replaceable. He's a director of football. You can get a director of football.
Yeah, you can get anyone.
Edwards is the one that I'm sitting there going, I don't think he'll go. And if he doesn't go, then a lot of the things stay the same because he's the head of everything, according to his role.
Mm-hmm.
So even if Hughes goes, the structure should stay the same. The plan should stay the same. Even that article they were talking about it being Edwards who's been following him, Edwards who's been keeping up the contact, and Edwards who's been keeping up to date. So I think
this Madrid fan absolutely can't stand Alonso. By the way, he's been ever since Alonso's been there. Like he can't stand Alonso, bro. He's been talking about Alonso non-stop. It's crazy. Why do you hate Alonso so much, Decodo? He wasn't even. By the way, you were top of the league when Alonso was there. You're second now, mate. You get me. Big up Arvalo, Arbeloa. They're second, didn't it? Wait, let me check before I get embarrassed myself. They're second behind Barcelona. Yes, they're second behind Barcelona. Visca Barca, you get me. They're second. Thank God I had to double check in the new tab just to not get embarrassed. Guys, we have 1.1k people locked in. Can we get the likes up? Can you find some shame? We have Turbo Tom in the building. Let's get the likes up. Let's get 500 likes ASAP. Find your 1% shame left. Let's get 500 likes, please. Get the likes up, subscribe to the channel as well. We are closing in on the 71.5k mark. So let's get there with you guys' help just by you liking and subscribing. Big up to Akio says, it doesn't really make sense If they wanted to give Salah all the choice, he could have still picked a club and they could have accepted whatever fee the club was willing to pay. What do you make of this? Like, where this whole like mutually agree a contract termination. This has been one of the things that's pissed people off a lot, Tom. So, what?
It's the easiest outcome, isn't it? It's the easiest way for the club to wash their hands, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
I would have, again, I'd have liked them to stay. In an ideal world, I would have liked them to go and we get a good transfer fee for them. Ultimately, this is the best way for it to go. He gets his grand farewell, and we get the money for his wages from a certain date, and all parties can go their own way without there being any more animosity. Why is that not how it's going to go?
Because we're not going to get any fees for him.
I know we're not, but we get his entire wage packet for next year freed up.
Yeah, of course, Tom. We were going to get that anyway. But that 20 million,
not if you're asking for a transfer fee, you're not going to get that freed up though, because the clubs can't afford to pay a transfer fee on top of his wages. Which European club can afford to pay him 450 grand a week, 450 grand a week, whatever he's on, as well as 25 to 30 million pound transfer fee?
The only place where he could have got that wages is one of the clubs you mentioned, like a Barca or something like that. That's it.
But if there's no transfer fee attached to it, those wages become attainable. Those wages become attainable for more clubs. And again, it's a respect thing for everything he's done for the football club to not stand in his way when it is time to go and not try and cause problems and eke everything out for them when it's his time to go. I assume that's the way they're operating. And again, there's the breakdown in relationships, isn't there? I don't think the club necessarily want to deal with it anymore, and I don't think he wants to deal with it anymore. So it's just the quickest and easiest way for everyone to part ways.
The funniest part about like that whole conversation, post Leeds, is basically when he said the club's throwing him under the bus, and when he said like all these things that he said, bro, he was proven right later towards the end of the season, because that's what it feels like. It feels like he wants to get out of there so bad, like he's just giving up everything. He's just like, oh yeah, get me out of here, please. And for a player to do that, I think the fact that he also released his own video shows you that he's not allowing them to manipulate the situation. I think they've stabbed him in the back a bit too many times this season, specifically with the whole articles at the start of the year about him not having friends in the squad and no one, backs him and they all hate him, and blah, 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 and all this crap. And then like 3 months later, the article comes out. Oh, yes. Mo's leadership is very important as he meets the rest of the team at the coffee bar every day, and they all say hi to each other. And he's helped Bert settle in, and he's helped Ekitike. So where has this been all season? But I think him calling up the club basically triggered all the, the media to make up all these things, and the truth has come out eventually. And so everything he said post Leeds is true. The club did try to throw him under the bus. The club did try to get rid of him in the back door. This is why when a player gives up his wages and gives up all this, you're basically saying the club has tried to stab me in the back and get rid of me in the back door, and I refuse to do that. So him doing this, I think, is a power play by Mo to basically say, I am going to dictate my own future. You're not just going to send me to wherever the hell you want. I'm going to decide where I go.
No, but a mutual termination means that we also... So Salah could have sat there and put forward to the club that he wants to go. And he wants to terminate his contract. If the football club thought the best port of call was to sell him because we'll get the fee that we want in the summer, they would have just said, no, we'll sell you. We're not going to mutually terminate your deal. We'll sell you.
I think he probably bought out his contract.
He could have done. Maybe that's the way he went.
That's honestly my honest prediction. I think he probably just bought out his contract.
The way it was reported yesterday was that he's agreed to leave the last year of his contract. He's going to walk away from that last year. And the contract, rather than end on the 1st of July 2026 or 30th of June 2026 or 2027, and 30th of June 2026. The problem as to why he couldn't have just left the wages and stayed at the football club until we sold him is that if we didn't sell him back beyond 30th of June, he wouldn't have a contract. If we was to try and sell him beyond 30th of June, he's then owed wages still for while he's contracted. So it's the cleanest break for the club and the player, I think. And it's the easiest one, rather than sitting there in the summer and waiting to get offers in and waiting to see which clubs are going to pull the trigger and then some clubs back out.
You think this allows him to solve it quicker, basically?
Yeah, it's the easiest way for everyone to go their own separate way. And that's the way I see it.
Now the agent, will just do his work. Like, let's be honest about this. Despite, what the people will say, he will have a lot of suitors like a Juve, a Napoli, and Inter, and AC. They'll all call him, So now, basically, his agent is going to have the pick of the best to choose from. He'll have something pre-agreed.
This means Salah gets more money when he gets to his next club anyway, because he gets the signing fee that he wouldn't get.
Do you think there's a world in which he ends up at PSG, as an example?
I don't know. There could be, maybe not PSG, but there's could he end up at Bayern, for example? Could he end up at a Real, for example? There are names that suddenly become options that maybe weren't options when he was still tied to the football club. The fact he's going on free, I think, opens more doors. And it might have been his request to go this way, and we don't want to stand in his way. We don't know. We won't know the full story until we're told the full story.
I hear you. To be honest, if he goes to Bayern Munich, I think even with his current capabilities, he easily bags 35 GA over there, 40 GA, even current more.
That's very contingent on someone going, isn't it? Obviously,
yeah.
I
think if he goes to the Serie A is a lot slower league, so the GA isn't that much in the Serie A anyway. So you would see him getting 25, 26 GA in that league, like 15 goals, 11 assists type season. You could see him easily having that. So it just depends. I'm not. I'll be honest with you, Zir. I don't think the Saudi thing is as real as people make out online. I think he's gonna go to Saudi Arabia eventually, but it's gonna be not now, not yet. I think he still wants to do one more season in Europe. I think
he still wants to compete at the top level, doesn't he? I think.
Yeah.
He still wants to compete in Europe. He's still got that drive for him.
Yeah. I'm not saying he won't ever go to Saudi Arabia. I think he will, but I'm just saying not now. I think he's going to do another season in Europe at least. I think he's going to do what KDB did. Serie A. Imagine next season, like Mo goes to Juve and they have a Juve Napoli title race. Oh my God, bro. These guys are such fraud. Imagine they end up being in a title race with each other anyway. That would be hilarious. Big up to Jay Ruiz. Big up to you, bro. He says Hughes and Slot will go. Ward is going to be the Hughes replacement. Ward again? Again?
Yeah, he's still at the club, yeah.
Alonso, our coach, and he doesn't want to have another Vinny Jr. situation with Salah. I don't think he would have had a Vinny Jr. situation with Mo, I'll be honest with you. I think people act like Mo is this out of control freak of like nature. I don't think, bro, like he's worked with Spalletti. He's worked with about 5 different Egyptian managers. He's worked with Slot. He's worked with Klopp. He's worked with the Basel managers. Like this whole ego thing, I think is overused. But I think I agree with Tom's logic, which is I think he just wants to choose where he goes eventually and just go over there. Early in the summer, have all the offers down on the table and just sign a contract to someone. The whole Ward thing, if Julian, Tom, who we need to bring back if Julian Ward becomes sporting director, right?
Who?
There's one name. You know who we have to bring back. We have to bring him back to YouTube, drag him here. With his Gucci flip-flops. Who we have to bring?
Kurdish.
Yes, we have to bring Kurdish back. If Julian Ward becomes Liverpool sporting director, I'm calling Kurdish. I'm like, listen, whatever you're doing right now, get your ass on this channel right here, right now. Forget everything you're doing in your life. I don't care. Get your butt on the channel now, bro. If he comes, he has to come on this channel.
He didn't like Julian Ward, did he?
Bro, like I spoke to him. He's like, bro, like, the world of social media is not for me. I'm doing a different stuff in life, blah, blah, blah. If I still have his number, I'm telling you right now, Kurdish, my brother, if Julian Ward becomes the sporting director, we need the Husam X Tom X Kurdish special. I'm telling you right now. He needs to be here. Like, he needs to. He's giving up his wages. He could have done that anyway. I hear you. Salah free, Trent free, Ali gonna be free, and Virgil van Dijk watch. Have you looked at the contract situation, Tom?
What the fact that the other ones are up
With all
next year.
these players, really, he's mentioned.
Like again, Husam, it's the same thing I'm saying. There's an old guard and a new guard, and they tried to mesh them together, and it's not worked. So they're just now committing to the new guard. So we're gonna see the end of. I don't think Ali stays beyond next season, and I don't know about Van Dijk's a special case, isn't he? Because he's the captain. But there's a world where Van Dijk doesn't stay, and they just fully try and get into the next era. I just think that this summer they wanted to commit to the new era. And put the building blocks in and get the key pieces for that of your Isaks, your Wirtz, whatever, and have your Salah and Van Dijk, and they just wonderfully fit together like a puzzle. But it doesn't work that way. It hasn't worked that way for whatever reason. And the easiest thing to do now is to just commit to the new guard that are going to be here for the next 5, 6, 7 years, than try and persist with this mesh of new and old guard that just don't work together.
That's speculation. It could easily be they told him he wasn't going to get guaranteed game time and he wants to still break records and be the main man. Just quickly, do you see him going to another Premier League club?
I'd be very shocked if he did. I do think that for him, it's best to go abroad, to like back to Italy or something. Because
but what if he went to a mid club? Would you be upset if he went to like Brighton?
I'd actually be disappointed that he thinks that's his level.
No, but like, you know, if he did the Welbeck thing, like, you know, play 28 games but get 16 goals.
But he's not Danny Welbeck.
I know he's not, but I'm saying
but
like,
we're talking about a guy here who I still believe in the right system and the right environments can be one of the best goal scorers on the planet.
I agree. In the right system, I think he's a lot better.
And I would be stunned because if his ambition is to go to a mid-table Premier League club, I'd just go MLS or Saudi then, and make your money, because you're not going to achieve your ambitions at a mid-table Premier League club,
no.
Especially not at this point in your career.
Fairs, I overdid it. I was overthinking. 3 top targets for right wing. Who? How many wingers we get? And that's going to be my next question, because we keep speaking about the future and all that. So my question now becomes, who is the more replacement? Big up to you guys, by the way. Exactly what Hyper Protagonist is saying. We have 1,100 actually. 1,100 people almost in the building. And we're not even at 500 likes. Where's your shame and your decorum? We have Tom Little himself in the building. Close the live chat and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're ready to do so. Every single one of you, please hit the like button and subscribe. Tom, news about Diomande, news about Barcola, news about Olise, 100 different things happening with this whole situation. Where, who do you think is going to be the replacement for Mo?
I think they'd love Olise. I just don't know how realistic that is.
People from the outside think it's not possible. We know it's possible.
It's possible, but it's very contingent on certain things that we do, for fuck's sake. It's very contingent on certain things that we do. I think that they'd like two of them three. They'd like 2 of them 3 of Olise, Barcola, or Diomande. I don't know if they get 2 of the 3. I think that Diomande is certainly one that's very possible. I think
you know what this means for us, right? You know, me and you both were intelligent people. If we want Olise to join Liverpool, you know what we should do in the next round, right? You know what we should do, right?
In the next round.
Hala Madrid, Hala Madrid, Hala Madrid. You know that, right?
Oh, that's by the by. That's by.
By the way, for everyone
it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant on that basis.
If I support Madrid against Bayern,
it's irrelevant on that basis, though. In terms of Bayern could get knocked out in the quarterfinals. If we finish 6th, he's not coming to the Europa League.
Yes, that is true.
So it's pointless. So as much as we can sit there and go, we don't want Bayern to win the Champions League.
You know why I think we'll get to UCL anyway? Just because Chelsea are worse than us. They're more embarrassing than us, which is very shocking to say, but they've managed to out-embarrass us. You say we'll win 3 out of the next 7 games.
we can say that as Sam, but Chelsea could be as bad as us. But you know who's chasing us? Everton and Brentford, who really aren't that far off us and are in much better form than us.
Look, here's the thing. Let me tell you something. This is what's gonna happen, Tom. I know you believe in Mo. You are always a Mo FC guy. We were together fighting Mane FC. Listen, I think now the squad will be galvanized around Mo. And
I hope so.
You let's be honest. Like when someone like that says he'll leave, eventually they'll be galvanized. They'll be come together and they will perform for him. I think that is part of it, definitely. Anyway, now when we come back, we have an FA Cup game against Manchester City. And then after that, we've got PSG. So let's see how we perform in those two games, and then I'll make my mind up for top 5. But in terms of like in the quarterfinal, you know we're fully supporting Madrid in that game. Like fully.
I'm not fully because there's a certain player on Madrid that I never want to see success.
Okay, you're supporting 10 Madrid players. Happy now? Fair?
The thing is, though, I don't know. So I don't know how much sense this makes. If Elise wins the Champions League with Bayern, does that potentially give him more reason to go because he's then won everything at Bayern?
No, you're crazy. Are you mad? Bro, Elise will be like a Ballon d'Or nominee and everything at the time as well.
He's going to be a Ballon d'Or nominee anyway, though, isn't he?
No. I'm talking about like the guy. Because if you're talking about Bayern winning the Champions League, that gives him a bigger reason to stay. But if you look at the stuff that Bayern Space said, and even some like German journalists in regards to like Bayern Munich's financial stuff, if they get knocked out before the semi-final, it affects them. That's why it's Hala Madrid settings.
Maybe. I again, I don't as much as I've been told it could happen, I don't believe it will happen. If you were to ask me, I think they're going to try hard for Barcola and Diamande. I think that's the way they want to go. Keep Rio around, get Barcola, Diamande.
I love Barcola anyway, so it's not like you've got to convince me.
And it depends on Gakpo's situation. If Gakpo goes, they get another one in. If Gakpo stays, they don't get another one in.
Gakpo has outlasted Salah at Liverpool Football Club.
He hasn't outlasted. He's gonna stay longer. You know who will outlast him?
Hello.
No, because to me, outlast is you got there at the same time, pretty much when you stayed when he's left. So like Van Dijk's outlasted Salah.
Yeah, he has one.
Because they got there the same season.
Yeah.
I don't think I can't say someone that's been here 3.5 years has outlasted someone who's been here 9 years in my eyes. Maybe you're right by definition, but it just doesn't sit right with me. It's terrible at that. If you want a mad one though, Salah outlasted Mane and Firmino, and Mane and Firmino's replacements.
Ooh, Nunes Diaz. Yeah, he did. Back then we were good.
That shows his longevity, which is why you won't ever hear me say a bad word about him. But yeah. Back
then we were good. That's why it was a lot easier to have a conversation about like Nunes, Diaz, the players, because the system was working, the style was working. We were playing beautiful football, and they were still missing chances, and they're still underperforming. Now with a bad system, you can't do that because it's like basically 10 players who look like garbage, including players who weren't player of the season last year, like McAllister, Gravenberg, all these. It's like, for me, people who like compare it to the Klopp era, like those 2 years with like Nunes, Diaz, blah, 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 I think are clueless. Even with Gakpo and stuff, because with Klopp, we still played that brand of football that allowed our front three to create chances and create moments. Therefore, when Nunes has 27 big chances and missed in the league with 11 goals scored, it's easy to criticize him because the system's working. You're just missing tap-ins. But when you look at it from the perspective of like looking at the actual players right now, not a single player looked good. People are criticizing Ekitike. Watch this, yeah? Whether you agree or not. This is the Liverpool fan that are saying he wants Isak and Wirtz sold. Imagine.
I don't.
Some player like they haven't even finished the whole season at Liverpool Football Club. He hasn't even finished the whole season, and they already want him gone. You know how mad that is? And that for me is everything wrong with Liverpool. It's not just an individual player issue right now. It's a systematic issue. I've maintained, like, even when it comes to Gakpo, as much as I dislike Cody Gakpo, as much as I think he's trash, I think even he isn't being put in a position to succeed. Even he is being asked to
Yeah.
do stuff that he ain't good
Yeah,
at.
the setup this year has just been horrendous, and it has been for a while. But I think half the battle with Alonso is, half the appeal, should I say, with Alonso is the relationship with the fans. I think that Arne Slot's cold demeanor worked when he was winning, because it was off the back of one of the most emotional managers you'll ever see in Klopp, and it's an emotional manager with an emotional fan base. It worked really well, wonderful. And then you go from a very emotional manager to a very cold, for lack of a better term, manager with that still very emotional fan base. And we could put our differences aside when he was smashing it and winning all the games. When you're cold and you're the way you are and you're not getting the results, the fan base turned. I hadn't heard Anfield boo a manager like that for a long, long time. I don't even think they ever booed Hodgson.
They chanted Hodgson for England.
They chanted Hodgson for England and unironically got him a job with England. But I can't remember us booing Hodgson.
It worked!
Mm-hmm.
Can we start chanting Slot for Netherlands, please?
Them booing Slot and his football makes me think that relationship is damaged, and half the battle when you're a manager is getting the fans on side and getting the fans to buy into your ideas. Alonso will not have a problem with fans buying into him. He won't. Not only just because he achieved some wonderful things at Bayer Leverkusen, but because of who he is in his history with the football club. And after a bad moment where the fans felt disconnected from the football club, it's a very easy way to get them back connected again. And that's half the battle.
It's do you think though people like with Mo's with Mo leaving now Liverpool, what should we expect from like the future Liverpool right winger? Because if we have more expectations on him, he's doomed to fail from the beginning.
You can't expect that, and I'm not putting that weight on the right winger. I'm putting that weight on Wirtz and Isak, because they were marketed to me as that. They were marketed to me as the future of Liverpool after Salah. So they're the ones that my expectations are on for the elite level of output. In terms of my wingers, I want a good output from them. I'm not talking like, I don't want Savio output where it's one goal they didn't even really mean across an entire season. I still want the decent output. But I think what this season has shown me is I need wingers that are great at stretching the game and beating the man one-on-one and being dynamic to fit whatever situation the game's in. If we need them to stay dead wide and stretch the defence and run at the wing back, they can do that. If they need to come inside narrow and operate tight and play 1-2s and link up, they can do that. I need guys that are very competent at all aspects of the game.
You're indirectly describing Olise, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Part of it is what I've described Barcola as well, and part of it is Diamande. Olise is the best one there. He is the best out of them three names. He's also the hardest one to get. That's the problem.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just looking at it going, if they have Barcola and Diamande,
he's not the hardest one to get by a little bit. He's the hardest one to get by far. Like you could probably get Barcola and Diamande through the door quicker than just getting Olise by himself. People 100%. Need to deep. People 100%. Need to deep. As much as I'm on the Olise train, and unlike a lot of people, I don't think it's impossible to get Olise. It's definitely a possibility. Oh, it's gonna take us all summer. Oh, it's gonna take us all year. It's gonna take us such a long ass time to get Michael Olise through the door. Like I'm telling you all right now, if we are serious about to get, let's say Bayern space is right. Okay, I'm gonna give you the scenario. Madrid eliminate Bayern in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Bayern are in financial issues, and Olise says, "I want Liverpool." Happy now? I think that transfer will take us like May, June, July to complete. No BS. It'll take a long time, you guys, and it's gonna be like every day journalists this, journalists that. So it's gonna be a long time of information. I think Olise wants to play Premier League football. I really believe so, because like, listen, he didn't grow up in London dreaming of playing for Bayern Munich. Let's be honest. Who dreams of playing for Bayern like grew up in London? Just allow it. People make up stuff like, oh, Bayern Munich are this global brand. Great. Someone didn't grow up in England dreaming of playing for Bayern. Now you could say in the era he was growing up and he definitely didn't dream of playing for Liverpool. I'd say you're correct. I won't even deny that. You know, it's not like he grew up wanting to be, you know, the next like Luis Garcia. I understand, obviously. He probably wanted to be, you know, the next Joe Cole or the next Robert Perez or the next Henry.
we had Joe Cole. Did they not see Joe Cole for us?
We did. He got sent off against Arsenal in his debut. What a performance. That for me was the most simulation year of all time, bro. Like, it's just, I am so glad. I actually forgotten all that season, 2010. Simulation, a lot of it, bro. Mascherano was still there as well.
2010, he wasn't. He left at the start of 2010.
No, he went. You know, Mascherano got sent off against Arsenal. What are you talking about?
Mascherano didn't get sent off.
Joe
in that
Cole
game.
got sent off.
Joe Cole got sent off.
Bro,
I think Mascherano refused to play because he was pushing for the move to Barca. I know he refused to play in the Europa League.
He left August 20th. I knew he played that game.
Did he actually play against Arsenal?
He did, bro. How much did we lose?
It was 1-1.
1-1.
Pepe Reina dropped it into his net after Ngog scored.
Pepe Reina's so ass. 1 second. He played. You
Did he?
fraud. Bro,
Did he?
yes. You see, I was 15 at the time. You were the kid, not me, bro.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. I knew Mascherano played as well.
What one did he refuse to
that was
play then?
Ivanovic debut. Oh my God, I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even going to say publicly what I wanted to do, but everyone knows what I was going to say.
Can you
Mascherano played.
Can you believe we made him
Skrtel,
one of our
Agar,
highest players?
Carragher, Glenn Johnson, Mascherano,
Ah,
Gerrard,
he did.
David Ngo, Joe Cole, Jovanovic, and Dirk Kuyt. And came on Maxi, Fernando Torres, and Lucas Leiva. Look at that bench as well. Babel, Martin Kelly, Fabio Aurelio, Diego Cavalieri. I remember Cavalieri as well. Watch this, yeah? We had 36% possession. That Hodgson era was so bad, bro. That Hodgson era was so bad.
And yet we should have won the game.
And 15 years later, we're talking about Michael Olise. Thank you, Jürgen. Honestly, Jürgen, danke. You made us.
Let me ask you this question that went around my head today, because when I was seeing the Edward stuff, even though I don't think he's going, let's indulge it and say he does go. He would then leave his role as head of football. You know who does have a job as a head of football at the minute for the Red Bull club? Yeah.
Sorry, say that again. Restart.
So Edwards, if he was to leave, he would leave his role as head of football. You know who does have that role at the minute, but for Red Bull? Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah.
Could you see a world where Jurgen Klopp is brought back not as the manager but as the head of football?
Look, I might have said yes in the past. However, given Klopp's recent comments about like I'm not done with management yet, I'm too young, blah blah blah, I think he probably maybe not this year, but I see him becoming a football manager again, like a year later. I really see him becoming like Atletico, Barca manager, something like this.
I could see Atleti 100%.
Or German national team.
Mm-hmm. Or what's it called? AC Milan.
Yeah, a club like that, definitely. I don't think he's the type to go like manage Real Madrid or like I just don't see it. Just don't see it. Anyway, before we get out of here, let me just grab these supers and get out of here. Big up to Akia, who says, can we play with wingers if the plan going forward is to play both Isak and Kitiki together same time? Ooh, great question. Great question by Akia there. Tom, since you're the Alonso expert, he's definitely an Alonso expert because he watched a lot of the stuff that he did at Real Madrid, and he's looked at a lot of things that Alonso did at Madrid. Bro, this is a great question because my answer would honestly be no. I think if we sign Olise, that probably means we won't be playing another winger, another striker. I think we will play 2 wingers and a striker if we do sign Olise. I'll be honest, look at you guys in the chat. Guys, I'm fasting. Don't do this to me, bro. I'm just fasting, bro. You guys, man. Why are you guys like this? Why are you guys like this, bro? Look at this comment section. He switches off his camera for 10 seconds and you guys are directly. I'll come back to you in a bit. Alonso's man managing Isak, Ekitike, Van Dijk will be fun. Content from Husam and Liverpool fans will be gold. Here's the thing, Decode. You know, with me, I've admitted when I was wrong so many times on YouTube. Some people on this platform are very wrong and strong and never admit when they're wrong. I've said I was wrong so many times on YouTube, and I'm always a willing learner and a willing listener. But if I'm wrong, I promise you I'm going to say I'm wrong. I'm not shy of saying it. If Alonso comes in and everything that you pointed out happens, I promise you I'm the type of guy to say credit to Decode. He called this out. He said this, blah, blah, blah. You might be a Madrid fan that is more aware than us, and obviously you've watched him week in, week out, and you might be right. But for us, for me, I just don't see it yet. Just don't see it yet. Can we play both wingers if the plan going forward is to play both Isak and Ekitike, Tom?
I think the thing with Alonso is he's so incredibly tactically flexible. So at Real Madrid, I know that the code will probably get angry at me for saying this. He was very flexible at Madrid in terms of the systems he would play. He played 2 strikers at points. He played 4-2-3-1. He played 3-4-3. For him, it's just about how he gets into a shape. So Alonso is all about getting into a 3-2-5. He doesn't really care about the players and the shape that's needed to get there. He just needs to get into the 3-2-5 in whatever way he can do. So there's ways and means for everyone to get the minutes that they need. 100% there is. Everyone can get the minutes that they need in an Alonso setup.
You know, you're at the bottom of the super chats in terms of like order, yeah. But I'm gonna put it up first because I'm triggered. Bayern just said Olise aren't leaving in the summer. What should Bayern say? Guys, Olise is for sale. You know, Perfecto, you did this during the Wirtz saga. I remember you, yeah? During the Wirtz saga, you were...
Didn't Bayern also say that they definitely were not signing Nicholas Jackson and then sign Nicholas Jackson?
And what happened? Why do we always say that the club that you're trying to buy someone from has just said that they're not going to sell someone?
I mean,
wow,
we've done it how many times in the past where we've said someone's not for sale, and then we said Coutinho wasn't going to be sold, and then he was off 3 days into the next window.
Why do we always do it? You know, I've noticed with you, Perfecto, you did this during the Wirtz thing as well. Why are you like this, bro? Like, every single time, like, you know, by the way, I'll tell you something right now. Probably a Liverpool journalist 2 months ago would have said Salah is not going to leave in the summer. Guess what? He's leaving. Like, that's the truth. So this notion of he's not for sale. Obviously, Bayern Munich are going to say he's not for sale.
As people in the chat are saying, Isak, Newcastle said Isak wasn't for sale.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, it's completely normal. I'm not saying Bayern Munich should say yes, he's for sale. I'm just saying it's normal for them to say
they're not going to say that because in an ideal world they'd want to keep him, but no one knows what's going to happen in the next 2-3 months. Yeah. What if Elise hands in a transfer request? Like, we don't know what's going to happen. So the club are never going to say in March, Michael Olise is going to be for sale this summer. Come on, have a go on him. They're not going to say that.
Yeah.
But he could be. He could also not be. Buying on a big club, they don't need to sell the best players potentially. It's all who knows. No one really knows. It's just ideas that are being presented because certain people are saying certain things. So Bayern aren't going to say Olise is for sale, but that could change come the summer.
Yeah. But I agree with that. Alonso alone won't get us back. Squad needs help. I agree with the Snore. Tell this to all the Liverpool fans who want Minte to replace Salah. Don't sell this to me. There are Liverpool fans out there who are like so done with Salah that they're willing to just like buy anyone. I'm not at that stage, bro. Like, Mo's leaving in the summer now. We get it. But can we get like a quality replacement and not just any random like Tom, Dick, and Harry, as they say? Don't just get like some random guy and go like, oh, here's your Mo replacement. Minte, bro. Don't do this to me.
Yeah, but I don't think the club are going that way. I think the Diamande stuff is I think there's a lot behind that. I think that he's impressed a lot of people. I think Barcola is one that the thing with Barcola is a very Hughes related one. Hughes is massive. He loves Bradley Barcola. He loved him at Lyon. Loves him now.
Yeah.
If Hughes goes, I don't know whether the interest remains, if you get me, to the same degree. If it does, we'll probably push really hard for Barcola, especially if he doesn't sign that new contract.
Yeah. No, I'm with you there. I'm with you there, definitely. Do you think Xabi will be playing back three? Virgil van Dijk would be a beast in there. It solves a lot of your problems. How would you build a back three and who would you sign?
Alonso could play a back three. He could do. He can play a back four or a back three. I think it will depend on the opponents and the game state. As long as we are not permanently playing a back three, which I don't think we will be, we don't necessarily need to buy centre backs made for a back three, if you get me. So, like, if we were playing a back three, we'd need to go and buy a certain type of player to play in these roles. I don't think that's the case. I think we need to pick up a left-footed centre back. Now, Schlotterbeck is signing a new deal, but it's got a release clause in. So maybe that, I don't know when that comes into effect. It could be comes into effect this summer. If not, there's other left-footed guys out there. Could we put our hat in the ring for the Bastoni to be the long-term Van Dijk replacement? But also, if we're playing a back three in the upcoming season, he slots in alongside him and Xhaka, for example. There's options there. If we're playing a back three, we definitely need a left-footed centre-back, though. Definitely, because we don't have one. And it's very awkward in a back three to play a right footer on the left. The thing is, though,
I think one thing we have to acknowledge, if we are going to go to a back three, we definitely need more quantity as well.
Yeah, you would do. But if you'd need it if you were playing it full time. So maybe you disagree with me on this. I think if you're playing a back four for the whole season, you need 4 real options for centre back and then a versatile fifth one who can do full back cover and centre back cover. If you're playing a back three, you need 6 and maybe a versatile one to be to cover full back and centre back. If you're playing a back four most of the time and a back three some of the time, 5 is probably what I need. I need 5. So I've got the options if I go to a back three and have the cover. If not, I've got 100% options there and cover. So I think that it's we'd need, how many have we got? It depends on Canate staying, obviously. Does Canate want to stay?
That conversation with Callum in the summer ain't gonna be fun because now you're talking about more centre backs needed.
Oh no, me and Cal are gonna have a big thing in the summer because I'll go, yeah, if we'll play a back four and I'll have 5 centre backs, I'll go, I told you, and I'll go, no, because it's this reason. But
now, if you want to play 3 at the back, Tom, and Robertson's leaving, then you're talking about minimum like 3 more centre backs to get.
No, but it's only if you're going to play that full time. I think if we brought Alonso in, we'd play a back 3. 1 in every 3 games, should we say, as an estimate. If 1 in every 3 games, I've got to play an extra centre back. I can't justify having 6. I can justify 5. I can't justify 6. So we're going to have next year Van Dijk, Leone, Xhaka as guarantees. Now, another question that we can answer or ask ourselves is, do we think Alonso coming in convinces Canate to sign? Maybe he's on about playing under this manager, but then the idea of playing under Xabi Alonso entices him to sign a new deal. If that happens, Canate is centre-back number 4. So then you don't need to buy 1 more centre-back in my eyes, who was a good left-footed centre-back.
I knew he was going to say 1 more centre-back. I knew. Don't be wrong.
If Canate goes, then you need to buy 2.
Don't be wrong and strong, Tom. Okay.
If
we go to a back 3, we need minimum 2 more. You know this.
I'm just saying my opinion, Husam.
Okay, one more serious one and 1 kid. Okay.
Maybe that's the case. 100%.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a case of, if we're playing a back 2 the majority of the time, you can't keep 6 centre-backs happy.
I can already see the Kopish argument happening.
You can't keep 6 centre-backs happy if you're playing a back 4 most of the time. Surely not.
I can already see Tom going like, we need 5 centre back, and then Callum pausing the whole stream and going like, I told you we need 5 centre. I can already smell it, bro. The Kopish argument. It's gonna be insane. I think one of the main reasons Salah is going is because Slot's staying. This is the thing that worries me. This is the Miguel Delaney, what are you cooking type. Like, I am worried. I swear, like, am I worried about it? You damn right I'm worried about it. I am worried about it, yes. Mr. Perfecto, the Olise super chat, you're waffling this one, you're right. Because, like, I am worried. I'll be honest. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit up here and fake it. Am I worried Slot stays? Yes. I am worried Slot stays. I publicly said this and I'm shitting myself. Because if he stays next season, it's like almost another season, because you can already tell what's going to happen. Ten Hag is going to happen. Rodgers is going to happen. They keep him and then they sack him anyway 5 games later and hire Alonso anyway. Thank you. You just wasted everyone's time. Barcola starts over Kvara and Doué. We ain't getting him. He is more comfortable there. It's only Diomande I see possible. Olise, hell no, it's not happening. Hugo's fan, I think we are a lot more attractive than you give us credit for. I think we can get Olise. It's just a matter of getting Champions League, what Tom said, and where Bayern finish in the UCL.
I mean,
in terms of
also, if you're telling me, because from what I understand at PSG, Doué is a guy that starts a lot now, and if you're telling me that Barcola is now getting the nod again, does that mean Kavicha might be available then? And we can
yes,
right
you know,
we can right a wrong that we didn't do last January.
I was about to go down the same exact route as you, bro. Like, here's the thing. If it's not Barcola, but it's Kvara or Doué, I'm taking that too. Like,
100%. It's better than Gakpo. Like, I'd love to get Kvaratskhelia. We should have got Kvaratskhelia last time. But again, I've not watched as much of PSG this year. But just on a pure numbers basis, he seems to be starting most games. It looks to me like it was Doué who missed. It was Barcola didn't start the last one against Chelsea in the Champions League. It was Doué who didn't start. Against Chelsea in the Champions League, it was Kvara who didn't start. Like, it's rotation between them. They're keeping them happy. They could be all happy there, and then it's a different kettle of fish. But Barcola's still not signed his contract yet, has he?
He hasn't. Olise, play like Frimpong or he starts. That's what Alonso will say. Decode, I promise you, if you're right about that, I promise you I'm going to give you credit. I'm so glad that Jurgen is a red. No one like him.
I missed that song, you know. I missed that song.
I'm so glad that Jurgen is a red. He told me he'll deliver what he said. He told me we'll win the Premier League. He said so. I'm in love with him, and I feel. Notice how he didn't sing the Klopp song because he was Klopp out. Bayern just said Olise aren't leaving this summer. Tom, if you could remove one video from the internet, would you remove the video that went viral 3 days ago, or
yes,
the Klopp out video?
Obviously, that one.
Or the Klopp out video.
I don't care about the Klopp out video.
Oh, okay, fair. Put the fries in the bag. Alonso is not coming to Liverpool. FSG is being wrong and strong, and I'm doing that. Oh God, bro, this is such a like, bro. I could tell Sinai. You know, I know Sinai's personality. Like, he watches all the shows and everything. You get me? I know when he's had enough. Sinai has had enough. Like, he's had enough when he's putting out like this type, because this guy will watch Ahwa and everything. He hates Liverpool right now. I can tell. Alonso as manager with Stevie G as assistant versus the world. Tom, just out of curiosity, would you take Stevie as Alonso's assistant?
If he was up for the role, sure, but I don't think that's his role, is it? I don't think that's the role he wants.
Why are you hating on Stevie, Blood?
I'm not hating on Gerrard. I want Gerrard to be ambitious enough to not settle for an assistant manager job.
Fairs.
Stevie G is someone who's won a league invincible already in his career.
So is
If he-
Alonso. Double
Yes.
invincibles.
Yes, but have you noticed how I'm not asking Alonso to come in and be someone's assistant? Because I think that he
Imagine
can be
Alonso
better than that.
becomes our
I
manager
just
and
think
wins.
Gerrard needs to get the right people around him again, and he'll go back to being the potential he had as a manager.
Imagine Alonso becomes Liverpool manager and he goes invincible. Oh my god. I think one thing you can give Slot is that everything that could go wrong have gone wrong. However, he has made the wrong decisions consistently when trying to navigate the issues like the team selection. Yeah, but that's the thing. When you say mitigating circumstances, you're the mitigating circumstance. You're the circumstance. The circumstance is you. Let's not forget, me and Tom sat on the show that Matt made on the same side of history where we backed Arne Slot. So let's not act like myself and Tom were like anti-Slot from the like we backed Slot, bro. Like we were on his side. For me, that third goal we conceded at home to Forest just broke my heart, bro. Like, you're just gonna sit up here and waste our time. He's the circumstance. He's the one consistent in the controlled experiment that ruined us. Really think Olise dreams of playing under Slot? No. I think Olise dreams of playing in the Premier League for a team that challenges and is winning stuff.
The thing is, the standard of manager in the Premier League is like that, though. If Alicia wants to come back to the Premier League, what are we saying? Do you want to play under Carrick? Do you want to play under Rafinha? Do you want to play under Tudor?
Arteta asking you to do right back?
Do you want to play under who knows who the
City have already spent on a lot of money on like Semenyo and stuff. You ain't gonna buy him anyway. So who's his real option?
Like if we're able to sit there and have Xabi Alonso as a manager on the table, and the competition for him is, with all due respect, Liam Rafinha, I think Xabi Alonso might get the nod for the majority of players
over Rafinha. Exactly. Bring Alonso, Stevie, everyone, Avengers assemble. Yeah, bring Pepe Reina as the goalkeeping coach as well. You get. Let's not forget we never won a league in that era. So like, let's stop reminiscing on it like it's elite. Stevie, I'm with you. Everyone else, I'm not with you. And finally, big up to Mr. Perfecto says, only way I see Olise going is he requests a transfer and someone pays 150 million plus. The thing is, you need Champions League, and if you get it, Slot staying too.
I do certainly think there's a world where Slot goes even if we get Champions League.
Yeah, I agree with Tom. Like, I think
if his relationship, if we get Champions League, but we continue to play poorly, and we only get it on the basis of everyone else fail to capitalize on us.
Yeah,
I think they'll pull the trigger because they can't.
And the other thing is as well, like, let's not forget the messaging is different here. Some journalists are saying Slot will stay, some are saying he'll leave, so it's not a guarantee. If Slot does leave and Alonso does come in, I can see Olise joining us. Is Mr. Fecto just here to crush our dreams? Yes, it seems like it. It definitely seems like it. Anyway, look, Tom Little with the one on YouTube, Insta, Twitter, the works is in the description. I just clicked show display names. Why is it not showing? I know it's not showing. Anyway, it's in the description. Make sure you guys are liking the video. Make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel if you're yet to do so. Love every single one of you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us on yet another stream. We got still 1,000 people even while we're ending the stream. I appreciate you all. Remember, we have Ahwa tonight at 9 p.m. UK time as well, so there's more content coming your way. I know you guys are bored as hell during this international break, but we got you guys covered with entertainment. So please like and subscribe. But Olise's family came to the Brighton game. It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me. It's South London anyway, bro. Like, it's just, it wouldn't shock me, bro. It's Southern London. It's a definite possibility that they went to the game. Why not? Why not, Ice-T? The poll, 58% have voted Slot leaves, 32% have voted Slot stays, and 10% is arrival checking the poll. So most people think legitimately Slot is going to leave in the summer. Anyway, we shall see. I'm going to send you guys over to the football terrace where I'm headed to straight facts. Love you all, and see you guys later, man. Peace out.